or selling?
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Bishop Alexander was slain by Caesars. Culprits still alive.
Keeping it together, please. You're safe among friends. Never forget. Keeping it together, please. I'm all right. You're safe among friends. Never forget. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of
Wars are
vinegar.
brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up even for one of our own. Buy now and buy
I don't
often.
come visit your ton. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Your fish stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving along with the rest of this town.
You're safe among friends. Never forget.
It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, Wolf, and you'll end up eating sawdust for myself.
Ah.
How you holding up?
Not in any buying or selling.
Back for a return visit, are you?
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree. I'm all right,
as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Your flesh stinks of the void. What kind of rat would sell such filth?
The kind that don't fancy starving along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations. We've got to take what we can get.
Keep talking, dwarf, and you'll end up eating sawdust from a cell floor.
Ah.
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not while you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
I don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe.
Yep.
Never forget it.
There's a lot of call for the junk you sell, then.
Junk? Why, I offer nothing less than the wisdom of the ancients. And
Vapid fiction, along with a large helping of ham.
Glad to see you well.
By seekers, culprits still at large.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Don't come over. Not while you're buying anything.
I don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Queen Justinia executes 2 dozen noblemen for insubordination.
Thank the divine you're here to protect us.
Yes, of course.
Until later, then.
How you holding up?
Talk about it.
We Justinian executes 2 dozen noblemen for insubordination.
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree?
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
What's it, you Dallas? I'm going to send you to Fort Joy, you horrible sorcerer. You can stay there
I'm
with the
approaching
dirty
this the wrong way.
lizards and Joe's mum until you're cured.
The slab remains lifeless, but you sense power lurking within the cold stone. Symbols radiate from the slab's central rune, but you do not know their meaning. The central rune is stained black with 1,000 years' worth of blood. A relatively fresh coating flakes off in the wind. The enormous stone slab is covered with crypt. Half the runes are words. The rest are corresponding musical notes. The inscription is an ancient dwarven dirge. The melody is similar to a popular dwarven drinking song, though the modern version is markedly less macabre. The central rune is stained black with
Back again, eh? Looking for anything in particular?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
As you will, chum.
Keeping it together, Reed.
I'm all right, as long as I don't remember too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget.
Back again, eh? Looking for anything in particular? Have it your way, mate.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as you come
does not belong to Duna. Why do you call on his undertaker, the death that feasts?
The beast tilts its head inquisitively. You feel a psychic push urging you to speak quickly.
Every falling feather judges your heart. Act with honor, or be consumed.
You hear the scraping of talons as hot air brushes against your exposed neck.
You are unworthy. flesh befouls the sacred cycle. How dare you stand before me? The vulture's feathers were a blessing. Your theft has cursed them. Your prize ruined. You will decay forever. Well earned. The death that feasts is Duna's gift. Blasphemy deserves no mercy. I am the guide of all souls bound to Duna, and you have damned them. I will not feed you answers like a child. If you seek to don Duna's blessing, you must prove yourself at every stage. So your intent was honorable, even though your actions spoke against Duna. So be it. I will lift the curse, but in so doing, I bind you to an oath. Wear these sacred feathers with pride. Honor us, as our souls honored Duna. If you should bring shame to that holy accoutrement, I will find you in the Hall of Echoes myself.
Buying or selling?
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by Seagulls. Culprits still at large.
Keeping it together, please. You're safe among friends. Never forget that.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 24 nobles for insubordination.
Buying or selling?
Hear ye! Divine order to march against the ancient empire!
Keeping it together, please. You're safe among friends. Never forget that. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Hear ye!
Then don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
Slain by Seagulls.
If I don't come visit your ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree.
Buying or selling?
safe among friends. Never forget
Hear ye! Hear ye! 3 dozen executes 2 dozen noblemen for insubordination!
Back again, eh? Looking for anything in particular? Suit yourself.
Out for a return visit, are you? Yep.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much. Glad to see you well.
smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped.
Until later, then.
If I don't come visit your tunnel, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Second time's a charm? Or have I asked too much of you?
The blade quivers as Tarquin nears it, and hums a response. An unfallen reveil. Amadi of Lucio de Anme Drita Dumores.
Oh, very good. Very, very good. This, my friend, is the key. Give me some time, and every deity in existence will tremble at the sight of you.
He holds out his hand, expectantly.
Lovely. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must work.
Tarquin turns away, but continues to mutter excitedly, almost religiously, about anathema.
Aren't you supposed to be off learning how to become the divine and whatnot?
Her eyes flash with something. Anger, perhaps, or fear.
But never mind. We'd better focus on the task at hand.
She looks straight ahead, ignoring you.
Well, aren't you industrious? It seems all the riffraff's back aboard as well. Ready to set sail when you are, Your Holiness.
A dying shark lies gasping on the sand, bleeding from the mouth and gills. It turns its dark and soulless eyes to you. Its bloody gills open in search of water, but find only air. It gasps in the air, struggling for the breath to speak. Its own blood froths at its mouth.
No! Die here! Monsters in the water! Monsters in the deep! Monsters bigger! More and more growing!
It looks at you with its cold, flat eyes as if to say, do what you will. Then it turns away and gets back to drowning in the bloody sunshine.
Now I swim. Monsters gone. Swim. Free. Swim. Forever. Monsters crawl the ocean floor. Better to die on the beach. Thank you.
A boy at swim. Your name is Joe. You're 9. You're brave. You're off to see your mum. A shadow moves below you. A jagged vice closes on your thigh and pulls you down. Water fills your lungs. Blood billows.
Yes, of course.
Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was
Look at you. You're all scaly.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
And got you a tail. That's disgusting. Don't be rude, Ben. She's a lizard. It's not our fault she's ugly. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. Cool. How did you know that?
Lizard, have you seen our friend Joe?
Tell them the truth about Joe. They have to grow up sometime.
The truth hurts, but they'll get over it.
Kids are resilient. Tell them the truth.
Tell them the truth about Joe. They have to grow up sometime.
The horror grows on their little faces.
No, that's a horrible thing to say. I bet it wasn't Joe. I bet it was someone else's leg in that icky shark.
She bursts into tears, then looks from you to her and back again, then starts crying too. They're inconsolable. You leave them in tears.
Water looks a bit cold to me.
So? Ready to set sail when you are, Your Holiness. Fantastic. Now, on to the interesting part.
After many adventures, the party finally reached the place where Godwo can go to become divine. But more surprises and difficult choices awaited.
are, the Nameless Isle. Here I thought Malady was unimaginative. Still, it's what's on the inside that counts, isn't that right? And this is the place you're meant to become a god. I can't help but wonder exactly what you intend to do with such a power. I have no doubt about that, but do remember, you can do what's good for you, too. All things in balance, you know. You'll want to hurry now. Divinity is waiting, after all. Excellent question. Normally, this place ought only to be known to Godwoken, but judging by the ships burning in the bay, there's been a breach, let's call it. Regardless of who's on the island, all that matters is who ascends. Make sure that's you. The strongest will survive and ascend. I'm hardly an expert on the matter, but I'm smart enough to put two and two together. Where there is an ocean of source, there is a well for drawing from it. To rise to divinity, you probably need to take a gulp. Though I'm sure it won't be that simple.
Gareth greets you warmly. He's oddly chipper. More chipper than you've ever seen him, and certainly more chipper than most people mourning dead loved ones.
I should thank you. I don't know what came over me. Praise Lucian, I had you to put me on the right track. Not bad. Took some time to think. My parents led good lives. I'd rather celebrate them for the love they gave me than to wail over their loss. Besides, we have work to do. Once we anchor at the Nameless Isle, I'll scout ahead, see if I can help locate the council and ease the way. I'll report to you on what I find.
Gareth offers his farewell and hums to himself. You don't recognize the tune, but you imagine it to be a hymn praising Lucian.
Look at that island, Quercus. Covered in forest. A true forest. Can you smell it? Over the stink of the water. Millennia of mulch. Those woods are ancient. Where better to find a clue about the Great Acorn? Some of those trees could even date back to the first forest. The Knights of Dre will never find us here. A perfect sanctuary to pause and complete our research. Yes, yes. I'm sure it's all very important and whatnot. Somewhere on this ancient isle, there must be a clue that will help us stop the Acorn. We must tread carefully. I'm sure such a wonderland will be dangerous, but at least it should be free from the Knights of Dre. What would we do, Quercus? Why, we'd make them sorry they ever left their mothers' nests. Anyway, we have something for your new best friend.
The squirrel reaches out and hands you a piece of bark, covered in tiny, scratched handwriting.
Something I discovered in your lizard friend's basement. She won't miss it, but use it well.
Hello. This island is something else, huh? I'll bet I can find many interesting ingredients here. And I think it's time to start repaying the favours. I could fetch some stuff you need, maybe. Ma always said I was a great runner. Sure thing. I'll start hunting that down right away. Don't wait up.
Quite a journey I've found myself on with you. Is this where it ends, I wonder? Dangers indeed. You can almost hear the sounds of battle when the wind shifts correctly. And where there's battle, there's bound to be mercenaries. Gleku Duma, the words of the lone wolves. No doubt my former comrades will have them in their employ. Speak their words, and you might pass. Speak their words, and you might pass. Consider it a token of my thanks for the assistance in retrieving anathema. Pursuit of my interests has led me to fall in with some disreputable company in my time. For a short while, one such group was the Black Ring. I know, not something to be proud of, but they let me do as I wished, so desperate they were for aid after the death fog cut them down to size. A fine arrangement, until they started preaching about this God King and his infernal covenant.
He snorts derisively.
The last thing this world needs is another would-be god, and an army of fools willing to follow him. It's a sop to all the fools who think that someone will grant them power and immortality in return for loyalty. This God King has caused to make war with the Seven, and the Covenant is how he's gathered his army. They become sworn, as it was put to me, bound to serve, die, and be reborn for the God King for as long as he wishes. Then, at some ill-defined point in the future, they think they'll be rewarded. You should have seen them all. On their knees, worshipping a new tyrant just to spite 7 old ones. I got away from them while I still could. Unfortunately, Dallas was waiting to snatch me. My efforts continue. I must admit it's quite an intricate piece to work with, even for someone like myself. I remain confident of success, though.
Try as he might, Tarquin cannot hide a small flash of surprise.
Where did you hear that precisely? Never mind. The Aetiran is a children's fable, nothing more. Supposedly a wand with an infinite capacity for source? Pure nonsense, I assure you. Really? Well, perhaps that says more about the caliber of their intellect than anything else. Such a device would be a gross overconcentration of power. It could purge the entire world of all source. Luckily, the laws of the universe render such a thing impossible.
These bodies have been purged.
Who could have done this?
I suspect we'll soon find out.
You're a young magister, devoted to Dallas. You fight alongside paladins. The Order united in battle, fighting the Black Ring, as in the Great War. It's the proudest moment of your life, and then it's the last.
A magister, dead on the beach. What a surprise.
The seaside doesn't suit them, does it?
surprising any of them made it ashore, looking at that.
Before you stands a shrine to Amadia, her solemn face carved of ancient stone. This statue of Amadia seems ancient. Moss blooms from cracks all over the stone, and tears of rain stream from her eyes. A hollow space marks the center of her creased brow. You remember that the statue of Amadia in the hollow marshes healed you. But no words from you can rouse this one to response. Whatever powers the gods once had has weakened indeed. You feel a presence awaken within the stone. An ancient awareness reaches out to you, swirling through every cell of your body and every mote of your soul. Fire suddenly rages around you. Acrid smoke stings your eyes and flames dance all over your body. Yet you feel no pain whatsoever, and the fire fizzles out as soon as it touches your skin. Then the awareness recedes from you, ebbing back like a tide until you are left completely alone. Alone with your thoughts, alone with the blessing Amadia left you with. Before you stands you feel a present lightning. Then the awareness recedes from you, ebbing back like a tide until you are left completely alone. Before you stand, you feel though you wait some time. Before you stand, you feel a present lightning flashes and thunder rumbles. Static electricity crackles all around you and dances over your body. Yet you feel no jolt or shock, and it fizzles out as soon as it touches your skin. Then before you stand, you feel a light breeze dances at your heels. You feel yourself becoming lighter and lighter until you are borne aloft and floating above the ground. Then the awareness was... The spirit of a Black Ring initiate stands before you. He seems to be smouldering. Spectral ash and smoke drift away from him. He sighs at his incinerated mortal remains.
Perhaps my sacrifice will be enough. Perhaps the God King will restore me to fight again.
The spirit puffs himself up.
The God King rewards daring. I thought I could capture this place alone while the others were occupied. There's more dangers here than I would have credited with. You are no comment of mine, outsider. You can go see for yourself and die in the attempt.
If the spirit still had a complexion, he would no doubt turn pale at this point.
God-woken? No, wait, please! I'll tell you what I know. The Sentinels. They're no danger when they're moving. But as soon as they stop, that means they're about to attack. That's all I know, I swear! That's how they got me. I didn't realize I was in danger until it was too late.
Did anything seem different now? Did that cause a reaction?
I have no idea what any of this means.
Amadia truly is the mother of magic. Hatred for all is a source.
More of those damn sentinels.
What's that amongst them? On top of the pillar.
Amadia's light stirs within you.
You are not of the Black Ring, and yet you are undead. But I sense good in you.
She gasps and bows her head in deference.
Forgive me. Please, I hold this boon. It is Amadia's. It should be yours.
A pair of gloves, beaten and worn, but clearly of the highest value, especially to a wizard.
I came to the council to learn to be divine. I failed. I'm not made to be pursued by evil. And that's what it means to be God-woken. Afterwards, I roamed the island, as did all we fallen knights. But my worst fears came true when the Black Ring came. I fled here. I made sure the temple was defended and went to the altar. I prayed to Amadia for help, but she did not answer. I'm not ashamed to say that I hid. There is untold evil in the world, and it has reached the island. It seeks the God-woken who would be divine. I cannot bear it. Go? There is no go. I belong here. I was God-woken, but for all the evil in the world, I would not be divine. I did not search the world for the others of our kind. My place is here. Yours is inside the mountain. Amadia's altar is at the highest point. Climb to the sky and you may find it. Shall you replace the lady, or shall you take her to the council? Then you must do it now, without fear or hesitation. Time is running short, and know this. If you would reach the council and be divine, all the evil in the world will rise to stop you. May you have more strength than I.
She bows her head in deference and allows you to leave.
A bird flits in the background as you approach the altar. Laying your hand on the weather-beaten stone, you feel a gentle heat.
A sense of warmth and peace fills you.
The chirping of birds fades into the gentle, warm crackle of a wood fire. You're standing in an old cabin, the wood stained with age. Sitting in a rocking chair, bathed in moonlight, is Amadia.
She's old now, withered and hunched, grey hair falling over failing eyes. She turns to you and dips her head, sending you on your way with a smile that warms your soul.
The room fades, but Amadia's moon remains, now emblazoned on the altar before you.
Before you stands a shrine. This statue of Amadia seems ancient. With the grating sound of stone upon stone, the statue of Amadia moves to one side, revealing a secret room.
I've never seen ruins like these. Black Ring. Could they be doing the purging?
As if from nowhere, a sweating warrior appears before you.
You were late, Bonebag. The Divine Order pigs be here at the temple. Kill him.
He points you towards the nearby temple, where a skirmish continues.
You have your orders. Get to it.
Comprehension spreads across his face, and he bares his teeth.
I fear not death, for I shall have eternal life. Thou should fear your own demise, for thou it is your end.
The paladin fishes out a canteen of water. He gulps half of it down, then splashes blood and grime from his face with the rest. He nods to you, a touch wary.
Many thanks for your help. But who are you? Fine. I won't shun new allies. Not after the amount of casualties we've taken. Here, let me give you some advice. It might save your life like you saved mine. If you need shelter, look for the Bishop and the rest of my comrades. They retreated north to our rendezvous point. We'll head there once we've tended to our fallen. Isn't it bloody obvious? They're destroying the sacred temples and killing everyone in sight. If I were you, I'd get out of the open as soon as possible.
He nods.
Our true leader has returned and united us. It's nothing short of a miracle he's made it this far. He's dodged assassins more than once. Now it's our holy duty to safeguard him until he becomes the next divine. And that means putting these black ring devils to the sword.
You frown with surprise. Alexander vanished along with all the others when the Lady Vengeance breached the Hall of Echoes. You assumed he was dead.
The enemy of my enemy isn't always my friend. If I see Alexander, I'll be sorely tempted to finish him off once and for all.
The gods, or someone, must want that man kept alive. Perhaps we should see what he's up to.
Alexander found the island. Does that mean he followed the same path as us? Does he seek the council?
Perhaps I have misjudged humans. Alexander seems as immortal as I.
My thanks to you and your friends. I had never died before. I felt so much pain, so much fear. It was delicious. A shame I shall not taste death again once my lord returns. But when he does, you will beg for the sweet aroma of death. Oh no, there you are quite mistaken. I have already taken his covenant, and he rewards his loyal followers. Do not fear. I will return. We shall all return. It is the God King's will.
The spirit of a Magister brandishes her sword in one hand, while the other is clasped to a wound in her side. She throws a hasty glance over her shoulder.
There's too many of them. Get the bishop to the Elven Temple. We'll hold them off as long as we can.
She turns her attention forward once more, her eyes darting between foes in several directions.
Bishop? Wait. Alexander is here. This Elven Temple may warrant investigation.
The spirit of a woman in strange armor stands before you. Visible on her breastplate is the seal of Rallick. She casts an imperious eye over you.
Godwoken, you're late. The world bleeds while you dawdle. Linger no more. The trials await. I was, a knight of Rallick. I was tasked with guarding his presence upon this holy island. Before that, I was the same as you, a Godwoken.
She looks you over once again. The judgmental arch of her eyebrows suggests you're less than she had hoped for.
Perhaps not exactly like you, but I heard the call and came here to face the trials of the gods. I was not chosen for divinity. Instead, I stayed here and guarded this temple. The Black Ring ended my vigil. They came, intent on destroying this place. I fought them off as long as I could, but there were too many. There was a reluctance in my heart. A lingering doubt. To be divine is to shoulder a great responsibility. Deep down, I didn't want that responsibility for myself. The gods must have sensed my unwillingness. Still, I wanted to serve them. I became a Knight of Rallick that day. The altars shall show the way, but only to those deemed worthy. Bow and pray to each altar. The way may be revealed to you then, or it may not. If the gods do not choose you to progress, then you'll likely share my fate. Make haste then. The Void's power is growing. It must be stopped.
White-hot pain, fangs sinking into you. A Magister appears and offers her hand. You reach for it, but there's a loud snarl. Warm blood soaks you. Then, darkness. The spirit of a Magister priestess swipes her staff in wide arcs through the air. She turns and spots something.
Wargs! Sir, watch out! Get away from him, you foul creature!
A ghostly cacophony reaches your ears, the snarl of a beast and the screams of a man. The priestess lunges forward to help someone unseen. There's another scream, cut short by a wet crunch. The priestess falls backwards, clutching a severed arm in paladin garb.
Magisters and paladins fighting alongside each other. A rare sight indeed.
The altar stands before you, flecked with moss and the cracks of age. An ant crawls across the surface, dipping in and out of the inscription that's engraved on the rock. In honor of Rallick, first of the gods and patron of humanity. As your prayer drifts away on the breeze, you feel the world around you shift. You open your eyes to a courtyard with wooden targets and practice posts scattered about. And there before you stands Rallick, a twisted old man struggling to heft his own sword. With difficulty, he lifts it high, cutting down towards one of the targets, but he misses completely. His sword clangs against the cobbles, slipping out of his hands and skittering towards you. Cursing loudly, he crawls towards you, searching hands running over the stone. He's blind. He hears you as you step forward and lets out a cackle.
One of the others sent you, eh? Sent you to pester a poor man that has lost his sight?
He snatches it back from you, but seems more likely to use it as a support than a weapon. He approaches, running his hands over your face.
Solstice's champion, are you? I'll give you what you need to find the Well of Ascension. But I need a small favor in return. 2 small favors, really. I want your eyes. After all, what is a warrior without his sight? Give me yours. I assure you, they will be put to good use in the war against the Void.
Your god leaps forward, knocking the frail old man sideways. Ralik gets to his feet, grabbing a shield emblazoned with a burning sun, and backs away defensively. The image fades, leaving only the symbol of the sun dancing in your vision. You slowly come to your senses at the temple, where chittering birdsong fills your ear.
I've spotted something.
Quick as a flash, the Magister has an arrow notched on his raised bow. He falters. A glimmer of recognition crosses his face, followed a moment later by a wry smile.
My Fort Joy savior. I never thought I'd clap eyes on you again. You always seem to catch me at a low ebb, unfortunately. My troop was slaughtered by Black Ring. I'm the only survivor. What are you doing here?
A skeptical eyebrow arches upwards.
You, Godwoken? That seems unlikely. Never mind. There are more important matters at hand. Bishop Alexander and the others might still be out there. I need to find them. Let me stay by your side for now. You can count on my bow in any fights to come. I'm glad to hear it. I ought to see if the bishop and the others survived, though. Without them, this old mission is for naught.
He nods.
I never would have thought it myself either, but he resurfaced and won over us veterans, Magister and Paladin alike. Now he's set upon becoming divine, just like his father. He broke free from Dallas and Breedman's influence, and they tried to murder him for it. Them and their white Magisters. Us loyalists had to stand by his side. The fracturing of the Divine Order, the Voidwoken crisis, multiple attempts on his life. He's let none of it deter him. Now Ascension is within sight at last. Be as great as your sacrifice. Make haste to the Hall of Echoes, comrade.
I fancy a swim.